These three siblings did not become lost to their families because I was in the right place at the right time. Please do not let me become lost to the system as a homeless person. I was forced to retire from American Airlines of 24 years. Threats was made to harm me is the reason I was forced to retire. I have exhausted all of my 401k trying to keep my home and keep my bills on my truck because I felt that I would be reinstated. Now here is what I have, a small version of what I endured. Now I did send tweets, emails, and faxes. I have this here. One moment. Okay. Now, I go out and protest every day. My recent protest was on the 18th at the SRO location, which is where I actually worked. Now, I protested on the 18th out at the location. Now, on the 18th in the evening, my son is a driver. He drives late in the evening. He went to do a delivery. They did call and say that they were going to be there. My son went out. There's a small child in the driveway, in the parking lot. He had the address to where my son was going, which was strange because it was at 9:15 in the evening, and the child was about 3 feet high, about 5 or 6 years old. Okay, there was no one there when my son went to the door. The child actually followed him and then left. When my son realized that there were no one there, he went to his truck to leave. Now, my truck does not have any decals on it. And if anyone was to look, it was just like my son was coming to visit someone in the apartment complex because there are no delivery signs on the truck. Okay, so when he got back to his truck, he noticed his cell phone was missing, but the cash was still in the truck. He looked up, he saw this child standing over in the park area. And so my son proceeded after him to get his phone back. Now, the window to the truck was about 3/10 down. You know, it wasn't high enough, and definitely not for a 3-year-old, a 3-foot person to get in the truck. Okay, so the child was a decoy. Why someone took the iPhone, which is $1,100, out of my truck. They left the cash. My son proceeded to to go after the child to get the phone. The child was at a distance, so by the time my son got into the park, it was dark, really dark in the area. My son actually got stuck in the mud. This is his shoes again. When my son became free of the mud, he noticed that there was a big tractor parked in the park next to the mudded area. Now, and I'm thinking that this was meant to do harm to my son because normally you don't leave big tractors in the park to where kids play at. Normally they take the tractors and park them on the street in front of someone's house or something, but not in the park. Okay, so this happened the evening of the same morning that I was out at the job protesting on the 18th. The picture says the 19th because my son, by the time he got off from work, it was late at night, and then we got the picture of his shoes. So then we go to on the 18th, the 19th, when I go back out to protest again for my job. And if you notice this video, one moment. The video, there is a big tractor parked. It came out from the far west side to the top which is the north, and then came around east where I was sitting at the top of the asphalt protesting. Now, I noticed the tractor when he came in from the west. I got up, got my bar stool and all my signs, and walked down to my truck. This tractor came all the way close enough where I was loading up my truck to where I could feel grass popping at me. Okay, and then on well, it's still going pretty slow for you. I mean, I have it going slow so you can get the images. And this is where I believe that they altered my video, because as you notice where it's still going, there is no more picture of the guy, because I actually got a picture of him on the tractor because he was that close to me. He actually put the tractor in reverse and backed back up to the top of the curb, which is up north of this big open field. Now, and there is a video where I went back out that evening so I could see what actually, this is the evening. If you notice, this is at 3 o'clock in the evening. And here is the video again. Now, he did not even continue cutting the yard. I mean, cutting this big area. He stopped when I got in my truck to leave. I guess he just left. Because if you notice, and this is the location, the SRO building of where I'm trying to be reinstated. Now, I do have PTSD because of the attempts against my life. These are the most recent. Now, this was to actually, you can tell that he did not continue cutting the grass. And now the grass was only high out around the lot, the open field. The grass was never high on the inner side of the open field. Just around the curbs is where the grass, and that was about 5 inches high. Now, so he actually stopped at that time. Now, if you look at my sign, one moment, I say it's actually saying that management influenced the